Welcome to the Kalfus and Nachman Accident Injury Attorneys Tailgate Sports Show, only on WNSB Hot 91.
Good afternoon. I'm Maynard Scales, and this is the Kalfus and Nachman Tailgate Spartan Sports Show. We want to start off with just out of respect, a moment. The Spartan family last week took it to Virginia State, and they wanted to have a moment, and they did so quite honorably. A moment of reflection, and I'm so proud of the students for having class. Let's go to that for a moment. I just, I want to take my hat off. I want to take my hat off to the Spartan student body for honoring and respecting Virginia State, giving Little State the proper homegoing service.
Yeah, that was good,
right.
Man.
And that was a pregame burial. They didn't even wait till the game was over. Like, we buried it before the game started.
How y'all doing, yo? Welcome to the Tailgate Show, brought to you by Kalfus and Nachman. I got with me right here to my right, I have the homie Morgan Trailer, who always gives us great packages. We expect that. Yes. To my left, I got the big homie Shakur. Shakur was sounding. He's holding down the boards. And then over here to the far right is Joe Smith.
What's going on, y'all?
The number one pick, 1995 to NBA. Although I after a conversation earlier today, I just got to let you know, I'm not certain if Joe knows anything about basketball.
We ain't even going to go there. We ain't going to go there right now. But you're a Sixers fan. Let me just leave it at that.
It's gonna be a fight today. And then I got the big homie Tommy D. Tommy D, what's good, baby? How are you, sir?
Doing great.
Hey, listen, I'm glad we're all back together, and I'm glad to have Morgan in the studio with us today. I know you have some packages from the field that you have that you produced, and we'll let you get around to that. But I want to talk a little bit about last week. We got our first dub.
Please do.
We got, as your package last week said, we got dubs in the chat.
Yes.
Dubs in the chat. But it started off a little bumpy. Virginia State jumped out with a field goal. Then we came back, and we were never out of the game.
Right. No question.
No question.
And it was nip and tuck, and that's a good rivalry should be.
Right.
I mean, the thing about it, it was a perfect showcase. It ain't how you start, it's how you finish.
Exactly.
And, Nova State, like you said, they came out, score first with a field goal. Nova State came back, drove. Second quarter kind of went into Virginia State's favor a little bit. They put up 13 points in the second quarter, so going into halftime, it was 16-7, obviously. And I think in the second half, the changes that Coach Vic made on the sidelines with the personnel kind of settled the offense down and got the offense going in the second half a little bit better. And it was on from then. They started building more confidence. They started building momentum. And it took all three phases, special teams, defense, and the offense. It took all three phases. So it was a great team win for the team. And I think I congratulate Coach Vic for his first win.
No doubt.
Congratulations. And a lot has been said, just the way that the students put on that funeral. They also had a lot to say about last week's win. Morgan, you were out speaking with students this past week. What was the excitement like on campus?
It was so much excitement, so much hype. This is one of our biggest games of the year.
Right.
And I think when you walked into the Student Center, the atmosphere just showed that everybody was crowding around. Mm-hmm. And we got to interview, me and Shakur, we went out and we interviewed some people. And their like excitement was almost like you could feel it. And when we interviewed some Virginia State students, they were so kind and gracious, but also they were sure they were gonna win, and they were sure that video would backfire on us.
Right.
Yeah,
But coming in this Saturday, it did backfire on us, and we're in a really good position.
So let's take a look at some of those interviews.
Yeah, the energy was definitely there. I was scared, like, second, third quarter, we was losing, but, you know, NSU, we got it. Big state over here.
For real, VSU, y'all little state, you know. In the end, you know, NSU always does our thing and we won. So, honestly, we can't even lie. We left after halftime, but it was because we wanted to tailgate, y'all. The tailgate be amazing.
Top tier. No music was too lit.
The game was very exciting. I think I got on my toes and my feet. I think it was like fourth quarter and around like overtime whenever they made their field goal, it was like so exciting to watch. Now that we've won this game, I think that we're like real, like we put our foot in the door and I think we're gonna win the next game this week.
I did not stay for the whole game. Like, even though we lost the first game, I seen flashes of a good team that's just coming together that could like do more in the future. And like that second game did show today, like what, a 15-point comeback. So I can see a lot for the team, a lot going forward. I see that they getting it together. They got good coaching and fans, so it's gonna get better. But I want to see what they're gonna do in this next game against Rutgers, because that's gonna say a lot. Because Rutgers is Rutgers. That's D1. That's a D1 team. So we're gonna see. If they can pull that out, then I have a lot of faith in them for the rest of the season.
Recap, we all seen the block punt was our first touchdown. As we say, it took all three phases. So the block punt was the first touchdown for Norfolk State last week. Virginia State came back with 2 quick touchdowns in 5 minutes, and you know, kind of put us on our heels a little bit. But it all went down to overtime. Came down to overtime. 29-yard field goal by Helfrich.
Yeah.
Yep, by Helfrich, 29-yard field goal. And it was an amazing win for Norfolk State. And they put the big state, little state thing to rest for
Yeah, we did.
a few years.
We let them know.
So we let them know right here on our home field. And for Coach Vic's first win, I mean, it was a big thing for campus. And we're going to get into what Helfrich had to say about that.
Mm-hmm. Helfrich was also named a MEAC Specialist of the Week this past Monday for his performance last week. This is what he said about the honors as a freshman.
Cool, especially in my second game. That's not something I ever would expect, but definitely truly blessed to have that honor. It definitely gives me confidence going into the season that, hey, set my sights on bigger goals, all conference and all that. So as a freshman, I think that's really special.
Man, so that's great. He got that, and as you said, he had that kick. But as I say often, when students ask me, like, "Oh, is there going to be food at the next meeting?" I always say, you know, we're going to need some prayer about that. So our kicker, in fact, he had the opportunity to kick it and then, you know, put a little prayer on it. So this is what he had to say about the kick.
This is awesome.
After what happened in the fourth quarter, I just didn't really hit a good ball. I wanted to be back on the field. When I saw I was going to overtime, I was like, okay, I want to win this game. Obviously, our defense got a great stop, and then offense third down. I was kind of thinking, hey, this is my moment. Hey, relax and go win the game. It's actually my 4th game winner in my last 7 games I've played, so it's something I am used to. We got Coach Vic's first win. Really happy for him about that. That was amazing. I'm glad I got to be a part of that. You guys asked me what's on my mind. There's really, the more you get thinking, that's when you start to miss the ball. So keep my mind clear. I have 1 or 2 swing thoughts. Keep my leg locked out, just technical stuff like that. I was just looking at the ball, trying to put my best contact on it, and I saw the ball go through, and it was just, thank you, Jesus. I think I heard Coach Vic say that, but that was also going through my mind. Praise the Lord.
QB Otto Coons and safety Ty Jones were also named as top performers after last week's VSU game. Now we're going to head into our first break, and when we come back, we're going to hear Coach's main takeaways from last week's game.
All right. We're the Kalfus and Nachman Tailgate Sports Show right here on Hot 91 WNSB, the soul of VA. We'll be back in a moment.
And now back to the Kalfus and Nachman Accident Injury Attorneys Tailgate Sports Show. This is Hot 91.
Welcome back. One of the pieces that we didn't discuss, and we're going to get to Coach's quote in just a moment. We had basically 23,000 fans in the stands this past week.
Right.
That's a big deal. And this is literally the effect of having Coach Mike Vick and a great, I mean, listen, the Virginia State, Norfolk State game is always well attended, as is homecoming, as is whenever we play Hampton University at home. So a lot of it is just the mystique of the rivalry. But we want to thank, the president and Melody Webb and those folks for securing the deal with Coach Vick, because I think it's going to, pay dividends in the future for years to come.
Man, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But now, I really want to get into, speaking of him, what Coach Vick had to say this most recent game. He had some takeaways. Here's a recap of what he had to say in the coach's quote.
Main takeaway from last week is that we're a resilient group. I always tell our guys that, I feel like we, definitely one of the toughest teams in the country. And sometimes I think that hurts us. But, I want them to stand on that and know that, it's going to always be a four-quarter game. Regardless of what happens, you may come out 21-0 in the first quarter, you still got to finish. So it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And we'll live with that mantra.
So we're going to have a lot more from Coach, but Tommy, you heard what he said. You know, what do you think?
Man, like he said it all, man. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. We
Yeah.
talked about it a lot last week. You
Mhm.
know, they started off slow but finished strong, and then also all three phases, like Big Joe said. You know, all three phases. So we're getting complimentary football. They had to do it when and the way the Norfolk State is built right now. All three phases of the game have to play well. They
Right.
gotta play well, and I think coach emphasized that going into the week, and it showed on the field.
I think one of the things that is really important to kind of say is like, when you get down, sometimes you can have the mentality of staying down.
Yeah, right.
You got to have you got to have the mentality of fighting back.
Yep.
How can we get back in this game? And I hats off. They fought to the last minute of regulation, and then they went out in overtime and they did it. So that's
good
cool.
win, man. Good team win, and I think that kind of build some resilience going into this week as well. Being on the road, playing teams in the Big Ten like that, like Rutgers, it's a big team win. To kind of build that confidence going into this week.
Well, look ahead at today's game a little bit, but actually the schedule, as we do each week, we do a schedule recap, and Shakur, you did that for us this week. Anything sticks out in your mind before we get to your recap?
Definitely. The game against Delaware State.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
I think that's the party game. Everybody wants to go to that game.
That game.
That's what's going to Let me tell you, being from the area, Philly is not as exciting as y'all might think. Hey, listen, but let's go to that. Let's go to the schedule recap and get an update on where we are in the season.
This is Shakur with a schedule recap. The last game, the Spartans caught our first win in the Michael Vick era and a comeback win against Virginia State. Our next game marks our first away game at Rutgers. After that, we face Sacred Heart at home. Then we'll get back on the road against Wagner and stay on the road against the Hampton Pirates for Battle of the Bay. They'll continue their road trip against Wofford, then come back to face South Carolina State. Then they'll head to the Eagles Turf to play against Delaware State University, and then play another away game at North Carolina Central. Then we'll come back for our last home game against Morgan and play our final game against the Howard Bison on their turf. I'm Shakur, and that's your schedule recap.
Today we play Rutgers. Rutgers is 14-0 in non-conference regular season games. The Scarlet Knights are 55-21 overall in non-conference games under their coach. This is going to be an interesting measuring stick, I think, when it comes to out-of-conference play. That is just where you measure up and see what it looks like out-of-conference for you. I think it's also could be a big morale booster, a big motivator. If you come out and you play and you're in a close game with somebody who is out of conference, who people think you have no chance of beating, and you're in a tight race, that just motivates you more for the rest of the season.
Yeah. I think a lot of our fans, this is the downside of this. Rutgers is a big time school. They're in the FBS. We are FCS. For people who don't know, the B stands for bowl, the C stands for championship. So think about the national championship series. Those are the bowl games. And the championship series, those are a little bit more conference driven championships. But the downside of this is, it's likely that we won't win. And I still have hope. I just want to set the expectations, because then people will say, "Oh, Coach Vick lost 2 games," right? And I don't want people to get it mixed up. And this is what we call a guarantee game. We go and play in the FBS, and at the end of the game, whether we win or lose, they hand us a big check. I mean, a big check.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
That's a win.
That's a win.
That's a win.
That's a win. And that check is really, that check is how smaller programs in the FCS can build their program through scholarships, through investment in the program, getting the weight room together, getting the equipment room together, getting NIL deals secured, et cetera, et cetera. That's how we build. So I think that we have a good shot of doing something amazing. I'm not doubting Coach Vick or the team, but I want people to be patient, because they'll say, "Oh, we lost the first game. We beat Virginia State. Well, they're Division II. We should have beat them anyway." And then we turn around, and if we do lose today, then they'll be like, see, I told you, nothing's changed.
No.
I don't want people to
that's
take away from that.
Nah, good point. Nah, for real. It's to your point. It's really just about building. It's really about for them. It's what you want to do is really start stack. You want to start building that morale as a team. So they can go ahead and start stacking wins. That win last week was huge. It was a big team win. Again, all phases of the game. We're on the road. A day, it was an afternoon game, so it was a little bit different. So it was a different atmosphere. You get the bond on the road. So you're really building that team. I think the team that starts, early in the season is not going to be the same team late in the season. To your point, looking forward to that Dell State game. I think we'll see a different Norfolk State team, or we'll know who the Spartans are by the time they play in the link later on in the season.
Absolutely. And with me, I know a lot of people what we call money games, but as a player, you're not going into the game thinking that way.
Yeah,
That's not your mentality going into that game. You're going into that game to prove something. Prove something to that bigger school, to that bigger opponent, that you deserve to be one of those players in one of those locker rooms.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, that's something a lot of these players, strive for coming out of high school, before making a decision sometimes to go to an HBC or a school like that. So now is your opportunity to take the field against one of these teams and go out there and prove that you deserve to be at this level.
That's right.
Deserve to play at this level. So, I mean, it's a different mentality from a player standpoint when they're looking at these type of games.
Absolutely.
I think all of our guys deserve to be on the field.
No question.
Recruiting is a critical and important thing, and it's gotten help. We get a lot of help now because of the portal versus when you literally had to get on a plane, right? And then because some schools don't have the recruiting dollars, they can't fly to Southwest New Mexico somewhere, or they can't be in Bakersfield, California. Because a school like Norfolk State or Virginia State or Hampton used to recruit as far as they could drive.
No question.
Right? 4 hours, 5 hours maybe, and that was it. And a lot of times I was recruited right from our own backyard.
Well, after this game, we're definitely going to have some more money to recruit.
Yeah.
I think. And so we talked about what we want to see today and our expectations, but let's hear Coach's thoughts on today's game.
We get a chance to travel to New Jersey, and you go into somebody else's house. You got to earn every blade of grass, and so we don't want to make this bigger than what it is. I know they definitely bring the heat. They have good players, very stand-up program. For these guys, this is something they'll be able to look back on years from now and say, I had the opportunity to go play against a Rutgers football team that was a tough football team, and we knew that coming in, but we went out there, we played our tails off, and so want to kind of leave it at that.
Well, Coach said it. You got to go out there and earn every blade of grass. And in a moment, we're going to take a break, but I want to say one thing. He said, listen, this is a Rutgers team that is, well coached. It's a good school. He played against them when he was at Virginia Tech.
Right.
But he also said that these guys will remember this for the rest of their lives, wherever their travels will take them. Now, they were our first guaranteed game in the history, right? So I don't know what year it was, but it was several years ago. We played Rutgers, and I mean they freshed us up real good. But we want some get back this weekend, so we'll see. And I wish them luck no matter what happens. We're going to take this break, but we'll be back in a moment with the Kalfus and Nachman Tailgate Sports Show right here on Hot 91, the Soul of VA.
And now back to the Kalfus and Nachman Accident Injury Attorneys Tailgate Sports Show. This is Hot 91.
All right, guys, let's get to the best players of last week's game. We have Kevon King with 63 yards, 9 carries. Jalen Laudermilk, big play, with 59 yards plus the game tying touchdown. Then we have Cameron Thomas, 5 catches, 82 yards. Antoine Davis, 1 sack. Ty Jones, 7 tackles. Major Dillard and Antoine Davis with 6 tackles. And Kendrick Nolan is this week's one-on-one player interview. He has 6 tackles against VSU and 4 against Towson.
Well, first let me say this. 63 yards on 9 carries is 7 yards a carry. That's
impressive.
That's impressive. Right? That's hey, baller, right? And then with Cameron Thomas picking up 82 yards on 5 catches, that's 16 yards a catch. That's amazing. I don't know how many were caught at 16 yards and how much is yards after the catch, but no matter how you slice it, that's moving the ball.
That's moving the ball.
Right.
Exactly.
That's moving the ball. Major Dillard and Antoine Davis getting 6 tackles.
Right.
Yeah, when you make the stat sheet like that, man, you're doing something.
It's almost hard not to win.
Yeah, it's like your boys
we were doing good.
And that's why I say it was an all-around win.
Yeah.
All 3 phases, offense, defense, special teams, because you have the running game going, you have the passing game going. Defense stepping up now. They're getting tackles. They're getting sacks. They're applying pressure to the quarterback now. And it's obviously special teams, like I said, with the block punt, going back for a touchdown, and then the game-winning field goal in overtime. So it was all 3 phases, man, that stepped up and helped this team come through last week, and it shows right here in the stats.
Absolutely. I really want to highlight the defense, too, because even in our first loss against Towson, I was listening to it, and I'm like, damn, we had so many deflections. I think we had about 5 deflections. Yeah. I'm like, one of them's got to be an interception. It got to be. So for us to come back in this previous game, and then get the win, it was hugely based on defense.
No
hugely.
question.
So big shout out to our Spartans.
But one of the things that helped the defense out, too, is they were able to do last week was running football. Being able to run the football, being able to get the defense some rest, so they don't have to be on the field as much as they had to do against Townsend. I think that was a huge effect, and you saw it with Major and Davis out there putting in that work.
Yeah, I want to talk about the elephant in the room for a moment. That is that Morgan left and Temsel's here. What's up, baby boy? Hey man, so what do you think about the play last week? You see the stats. What do you think?
Shout out to the kicker. That's what I want to say. Shout out to the kicker. It was a long fight going into overtime and all of that good stuff. I almost thought we wasn't going to be able to slip it out. But Virginia State, their special teams, they kind of choked up a little bit. And we ended up finishing the game and winning with our kicker. So
that's cool. I think when it comes right down to it, to pull that victory out 34-31, and I don't care that that they're a CIAA team Division II. That when you got a rival, it doesn't really matter. And like people who in this area, like they know like this, the Cowboys and the Redskins or Commanders now. It don't matter how good the Commanders are this season or how good the Cowboys are this season. They could, the Cowboys could be on an amazing run and the Commanders be down, or vice versa. But both teams get up for that. You know what I'm saying? And so it doesn't really matter. And people know the history between the two teams. They know the history between us and Hampton, the history between us and Virginia State. And we got Hampton later. Hampton, we coming for Hampton. We coming for Hampton.
Right? We're gonna go 2 for 2 on rivals this year. We coming for Hampton. They won 0 problems.
So Kendra Nolan, he's our one-on-one player interview for this week, and we'll be transitioning into his package.
Yep.
Within the game is going to be pressure, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, Big Ten, FCS, FBS, football is football at the end of the day. So if you don't come to play, then, you're going to be surprised by the outcome. So going into this game, I believe that the biggest thing for the whole team is just everyone to just do their job. I know just from the past experiences, when you play bigger schools, it's kind of like because you see the crowd, that a lot of people are watching. So that could kind of like take your mind away of what's important. But what's important is just basically, just ignoring the outside noise, coming in, just doing your job, knowing what you have to do, trusting and believing in the coaches and the game plan that they set out. You know what I mean? And I believe that, once we get into this game and once we start playing as a disciplined team and start, just like I said, just doing our jobs at a high, consistent level, that we're going to be fine. We're going to, come out with a great outcome. We're going to be turning a lot of heads.
Well, there you have it. You can't doubt Kendrick Nolan. He did his thing, man. 6 tackles against VSU. And he had 4 against Towson. So even in a losing effort against Towson, he was like, I don't care. I came to ball.
Right.
Hey, all right. Well, listen, we got a little bit more to go. And game time is at what is it, kickoff is at 3:40? 3:30
kickoff.
And we're going to hand this off to Ross in a minute, but we still got a little bit more show to go. Let's go out to a break, and we'll be back in a moment with more of the Kalfus and Nachman Tailgate Sports Show right here on Hot 91, the Soul of VA.
And now back to the Kalfus and Nachman Accident Injury Attorneys Tailgate Sports Show. This is Hot 91.
All right, guys. Of course, last week we did get the win, and Otto Coons had came in and took care of business. Now, for this game against Rutgers, apparently Izzy Carter is not going to be starting. It will be Otto Coons, and this is interesting. And as you know, Otto Coons has been with Norfolk State a longer time, and Izzy Carter is still young. He's still fresh and everything. He's fast. He's athletic. He just got to get a little bit more reps in. But as of right now, they're going to try out Otto Coons. How do you all think this will impact the game?
Wow, it's going to be it's a huge difference because 2 different quarterbacks. Defenses got to look at him in 2 different ways. With Otto, he's a straight drop back, plant your feet passer.
Right.
He can, and if you give him time, he'll pick you apart. We've seen it happen. Now you're going against a different animal. On the road, afternoon, Big Ten game against Rutgers, but I think he has to, he's poised enough to get out there, to be honest with you, and make it competitive. To be, just seeing what they went through last week, kind of coming back from that adversity. So I think, he's not easily rattled. That's another thing that I've seen.
No, he's
like
poised.
Yeah,
he's poised.
Yeah, it's another thing that I've seen I like about him. And he got a nice arm. He's really, really accurate. So this is all, he got all the recipes, all the ingredients you need to go out there and at least make the game competitive and maybe pull out a win.
Absolutely.
One of the things I'll say, about Israel Carter is, first of all, hats off to that young man for going out there and putting it on the line.
Oh yeah, no question.
Right.
No question.
And hats off to him if he can, understand that, these changes in personnel can and will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Can he keep his poise and be prepared, because his number's going to get called.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
His number's going to get called. It may be later in the season. It may be due to injury. It may be because it's time, because this is the right matchup for him.
Right.
His number. So, stay with us.
Yeah.
Stay on.
Definitely.
Stay in position,
Stay ready.
because what they say, next man up.
No question.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say also, I was impressed with Otto in the Towson game.
Right.
We started to move the ball, and he was doing some things that that Israel wasn't, right there at that moment ready to pull off. He pulled off some other tricks, and he certainly did a good job with us for us this past weekend against Virginia State. So I really want to say to both quarterbacks, and what I just said to Israel, that's the way that Otto approached it. He was like, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna sit right here, and when my chance to shine shows up, I'm gonna jump in here and do what I got to do."
Exactly.
I think the biggest challenge, however, is for a coach, because as a quarterback himself in the past, and we hear this all the time in the NFL and college, even sometimes in like prep school programs. Do we have a quarterback controversy? Do we have a challenge?
Yeah.
Right.
And that I hate that, because that means that's putting this person against that person, and we're on the same team.
Exactly.
No, I know that's a good good point, but maybe Big Dog can talk about this a little bit better than I can, because I really think you want to figure out who that guy is without creating that controversy. So a lot of that kind of funnels up to the coach.
Right.
If I got that right,
Oh,
you know what I
definitely.
mean. So a lot of that really kind of leans on the coach and the coaching staff, because that's you don't want to get into a fragile situation where you lose the team. Again, we talked about that earlier. You're trying to build something here.
Exactly.
So you want to make sure you make the decision at the right time. You had the right conversations, made it to your point as well. But yeah, buddy, like kind of talk about that a little
with me, Mike has had 2 weeks now to evaluate these quarterbacks, both of them.
Hold on.
Each.
Some people just call him Mike. Is that what we doing around here? I almost forgot. Y'all homies. That's kind of dope though.
Yeah.
That's like a humble little.
We go back now. Coach Vic. Yeah.
No, it's cool.
But that's he's had 2 weeks to evaluate both of these quarterbacks. Each one of them has played pretty much about a half in each game. So I think right now he's coming down to who has the most experience, who's moving the ball, who has the offense settled, who can get the offense settled in quicker, and who can really execute these plays that we're calling and we're trying to get done. I'm quite sure Izzy will get a package. The way college football is run now, when you have a quarterback with his type of athleticism, that he's definitely going to have a package in the game plan, that comes up in certain games. But right now, I believe Kuhn has done a great job of just coming in, settling the offense, finding receivers, moving the ball, moving the chains, and that allows the running game to get going as well. So I mean, it's just what his presence has done for the offense is just settled the offense down a lot more.
What do you think, Tim, man? Offense needs to be, settled down. All that's great. But and we were concerned. There was some of us had some concerns about, Coach Vic's like gentle demeanor, his kind of, more silent style of leadership. But apparently it worked out. What do you think, now that you see that that's what happened? Because you kind of predicted that. You said this is kind of leadership that you like.
Yeah, kind of like what Coach Vic was saying when interviewing him and talking to him. He was saying that he can kind of sense, when his players are having frustration or a little bit of uncomfortability or whatever the case may be. So after he was saying having talks with Izzy and having talks with Otto, of course, he doesn't want them to be in a situation or in a play style situation where they're uncomfortable. So I think now he's making a change to where the team is a little bit more comfortable and the offense is going to be a little bit more comfortable. And with you said, with the offense being comfortable, everything else kind of falls in play along with that. So I feel like he just made, after these 2 weeks, like Joe was saying, he just made the best decision for the best team, the best team's interest right now. So.
Great. Well, we spoke with Coach, and the official Kalfus and Nachman coach's quote is up right now. Let's hear exactly what Coach had to say.
Straight off the sidelines and right out of the playbook, Coach Mike Vick brings it to you straight. Brought to you by Kalfus and Nachman, accident injury attorneys, 888-HURT-LINE.
I want my players to know that I can see everything that's going on, and that I can actually see them and hear them on the sideline. From the standpoint of talking to Israel, I know when I sense frustration, and I don't want a quarterback out there that's somewhat frustrated and questioning, certain things or not feeling comfortable. You got to be comfortable playing the quarterback position. Otto has a lot of reasons to be motivated, and being his senior year, he's taking everything serious down to every conversation that we've had leading up to this point. And the one thing I respect about him is, and all our quarterbacks, but Otto in particular, he speaks his mind. We have real heart-to-heart conversations, and sometimes it's not good. Sometimes it's motivating. Sometimes he motivates me. Sometimes I motivate him. But that's my job with all my quarterbacks.
Straight off the sidelines and right out of the playbook, Coach Mike Vick brings it to you straight. Brought to you by Kalfus and Nachman, accident injury attorneys, 888-HURT-LINE. You heard what Coach Vick had to say. Man, this has just been a great time so far. But it's not done yet. We're going to go to a quick break. We'll be right back.
And now back to the Kalfus and Nachman Accident Injury Attorneys Tailgate Sports Show. This is Hot 91.
So we're back, and I want to make sure everybody knows what's happening. We're seeing Rutgers today. Kickoff is at 3:40 p.m. We'll be turning over to Ross, who's in Jersey right now with the team and trying to get them ready. But before we get too far into this, we got to figure out how can we send all of the good vibes and all of the good energy to our men and our our band. Let me. You know what? Forget all of that. Let me say this. I don't care what happens on the field. The Marching Spartan Legion is undefeated.
Defeated.
That's not even
undefeated.
A question. Number one. That's not even a question.
The Marching Spartan Legion is different.
Yeah, we're top 3 in the nation, ranked. Like we're
not top 3. We're number 1, baby.
They about to put New Jersey.
We number 1.
Don't
even.
Since I was a
Let's
little
not get
kid walking around these streets, Dolphin State band been like that.
Say it again.
They've been like that, ain't they?
Yeah, man. It's been like that for years.
I'm happy because this year again, this will be my 3rd year. I'll be the voice of the parade, of the homecoming parade.
Okay, man. Okay.
Hey,
All right,
man.
Hey,
I can't wait to see the Spartan Legion come down the street. But let me tell you who's bad though. Booker T. Washington shows up and shows out.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Easy.
Oh, I heard about that band.
Booker T. be showing up.
Them my dogs, man. Them my dogs, man.
I heard about it, but I can't wait to see it.
Now, Tim, you from Portsmouth. What high schools you go to?
I went to Manor, so our band, we're not in that conversation.
Norcom shows up and shows out.
Norcom, yeah.
Boy, I tell you what.
A lot of
Wayne in that conversation.
Y'all showed up a little bit last year. Y'all did. I was
a little bit impressed.
I was happy, and my daughter goes to Mari, so I pull for Mari. I pull for Mari, but Booker T. Washington is crazy. What you say, Tim?
A lot of people from Northland and Booker T actually end up commentating this year.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
A lot of NSU's band is comprised of both Northland and Booker T. So that just it gives to you a testimony of how good they are.
So, and while we're talking about that, right, I want to let people know that coming soon and during the homecoming celebrations, in fact, I know she's working on it right now, but April Wilson, who is the daughter of our longest serving President Harry B. Wilson. She and her son and some others produced a phenomenal documentary about the band.
Yes.
The Rise of the Legion. And one of the things that they talk about in detail, and there's still some controversy about this, is talking out the side of your neck. That we were the band that literally made this thing.
Got it.
If you ask me, yes.
Yeah.
Because that, man, I'm telling you, when Norfolk State used to play over at Foreman Field, I lived in Lammers Point, the neighborhood right there. So I used to go to all the games over there. And when that came on, oh my God, man, the whole crowd, everybody was that. So if you ask me, Norfolk State created that. That's all I know.
Yeah, and there's some other college bands who want to like kind of lay claim to it. But even if you go,
they're not like us.
Not like
us.
No.
If you go to Wikipedia and look it up, there are a couple of bands, college bands that are named, but we're named in there among the ones who really popularized it.
Right.
And and so my daughter didn't understand it. Right. She didn't know. She's only 6. She ain't know. She ain't know. She's only 16. And she said, so we were listening to another band play it. And it was a PWI school. I think it might have been Ohio State or somebody like that. And she was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I said, wait till Norfolk State plays it. And she heard it and she's like, oh, I get the difference now. Right? Yeah. It's the swing, it's the swag, it's catching it right when the beat is supposed to be here, and they just like wait to the last second and hit that thing.
That's true. I've actually been raised the same way because I'm actually the 7th person to go to Norfolk State for my family. So everyone's told me about the band. You know,
shout out for that.
Yeah, legacy,
right? And I mean, of course, here now I'm the 7th. You already know they told me about the band. They were like, you got to go to the band. It's good. It's this, that, and third. But growing up in Hampton, Newport News, I saw Hampton's, of course, their band, and it was good. But they was like, wait till you see Norfolk State.
Right.
Man, I went to Norfolk State. I was hearing those drums. I was like, yo, this is totally different. This is the band right here. It's a whole different atmosphere.
Yeah. And so, shout out to the band. And then Hot Ice. The ladies are beautiful. The dancing, the choreography is always well synchronized. They do a phenomenal job. And they also are scholars, don't let the beauty be the only thing that we admire about these women. They are.
Yeah, they go hard.
Academically, I know a lot of these young ladies. I have a few of them in my class. They're sharp. they're solid. So I appreciate that. We are coming. We're approaching very quickly on the Ross Gordon's his pregame show that's going to show up right before the game. He'll say a lot of the same things we said, but he'll have some other things to share with you. But I want to thank you guys, and I want to thank our sponsors, Kalfus and Nachman.
Yes, sir.
Excellent industry attorneys.
Appreciate it.
I saw you your shoulder a little earlier, Joe.
Yeah, it's fender bender. Somebody ran into the back of the car. And,
Oh, boy.
You can call it.
I'm just playing, y'all.
Help! I fell and I can't get up.
No call.
No. Call Kalfus and
We can't talk to top dog till top dog cuts a check.
Kalfus and Nachman.
So about
That's
Kalfus
who
and
you call.
Nachman.
So and also we want to thank Papa John's. They also provide some support to us.
Shout out Papa
right.
John's.
Shout
Shoot us
out.
a pizza next
And
time.
y'all about to say,
we need lunch.
if you all would ever like to pull up for the show and
Anytime.
lay some peace on us, that's no problem.
Yeah.
Let's pull up the tie line and see if we can find Ross right now. Mr. Gordon, sir, are you there? Okay, he's not available just yet, but we're going to take this last break. Take it out of the queue. We're going to take this last break, and when we return, we'll send you out to Rutgers for the start of the Norfolk State University at Rutgers game.
Yes,
We're on the road. I'm wearing red today because I figured like this is my away game. This is my away colors.
You about to get tackled over there. You look like you look like you're on the opposing team right there.
Everybody else got the memo.
Oh, my bad. My bizzle. All right, so we'll just kind of we'll keep it popping, and we'll get with Ross in just a moment. One last thing. Okay, great. In fact, I think that we have Ross. Let's pull that back up. Ross Gordon, sir, how are you? Well, excellent, my brother. We've been sitting here talking trash about your beard, but we want to hand it off to you. Are you ready? Are the Spartans ready to take it from New Jersey, sir? Yes, sir. Oh, you are right. I am not capable of growing a beard. I am not capable of growing a beard. That's okay. That's all right. But listen, man, do a good job. Have a great time. Helped our Spartans secure a win. Thank you so very much for everything you do, and have a great game. All right.
Yo, Ross, can you hear me? Ross.
I say probably, you never know. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you right now though, we get a win. If we get a win, I'm breaking this door down. Yes, sir. I'm ruining the radio show. I'm ruining everything. On the bill.
Yo, Ross.
Yeah. Hey, can I hear you?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Can I hear you, Shakur?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, there you go. You got 15 seconds. All right. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You on there?
We're back live here from SHI Stadium in Piscataway, New Jersey, as the New Jersey and New York area, the tri-state area, honors the events that happened around 14 years ago, September 11th, actually a little bit longer than that. September 11th, a day that will live in the minds and hearts of a lot of those who have been alive for that long when the tragedy happened in the city of New York and in Washington D.C. The Scarlet Knights family lost 37 alumni in that tragedy, and they honored those individuals with a moment of silence here today at SHI Stadium, and we will.